Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast. I'm Tim Young. I'm the host of the podcast. It's the whole thing. Here's my name there. Look at that. There's a name and there's this. I want to talk about some things that aren't necessarily political today. Also, I want to thank our sponsor of all times, cigarsdirect.com. If you want to go get your cigars, go to cigarsdirect.com. They've got the good stuff. They've got the everyday smokers. They've got your cutters, your humidors, your Bavita humidifying packs, all the things you could possibly want with cigars. They have it at cigarsdirect.com. All right, so let's get into the stories that I want to talk about today. I like digging through and finding the dumbest stories that I can possibly find, mainly because I'm dumb, right? So I want to find the stories that entertain me, that might entertain you. And I think tomorrow we're going to do a deep dive into Tiffany Henyard, by the way, in Dalton, city of Dalton. She might be the most corrupt politician of all time. That's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about one of the dumbest lawsuits of all time, and then Google being racist. So Scooters is not a sponsor, but God bless them. Better known down the street from me in Grapevine, Texas. All right, here we go. I want to share with you this story. It is a story from Washington, D.C. A man is suing the D.C. lottery for winnings that he didn't win, to put it simply. Here's the story. I'm going to turn up the volume. Here we go.
Now a story you'll see only on News 4.
Only on News 4. God bless them, NBC4. I used to work for WTTG Fox 5 in D.C. They were the big competitor that they would go back and forth in the ratings. Not that you care.
How many of us have dreamed about what we would do if the Powerball numbers on the lottery website matched the paper ticket in our hands?
I kind of feel like he's already setting this up with sarcasm. And he needs to, because it's pretty good.
The luxury cars we'd buy, the job we might quit.
Okay, I don't care about your
Jackie Benson has the story of a D.C. man who was suing Powerball and the D.C. lottery for refusing to pay out a $340 million prize last year after his lawsuit claims his numbers came up on their screen.
Hold on. So before you go any further, does this man deserve lottery winnings? Just the numbers came up on the screen. Now, what does that mean? It means he didn't win the lottery. This might be the dumbest lawsuit of all time. But he's suing for $340 million. He's hoping for a settlement. He's going to get nothing.
I'm not a regular, except for when the jackpot goes up.
On January 6th,
yeah, this guy doesn't play the lottery. He's just got his fancy fedora on. He's ready to go. He's ready for this dumb lawsuit.
6th of last year, D.C. resident Joseph Cheeks bought a Powerball ticket using a personal combination of family birth dates and other numbers. Mr. Cheeks did not see the drawing, but on January 8th, he pulled up the D.C. lottery website on his laptop. He saw his numbers.
Okay. So stop right there. He didn't win the lottery. He didn't see the lottery, and he goes to the website and he sees his numbers because of an error. Here you go.
Laptop. He saw his numbers. He took this screenshot, but the numbers posted on the DC Lottery website.
This is Powerball. Good evening, America.
Is that Lauren Boebert? She's got a second job. Good for her.
America.
Were not the same as those pulled in that Powerball drawing January 7th. His lawsuit claims his numbers remained on the lottery's website for 3 days, and the size of the Powerball prize at that time was $340 million.
So he's claiming that even though he didn't win the lottery, he won the lottery because somebody mistakenly put his numbers on the website. Which, by the way, again, they're going to have to prove that that error was even made, but it doesn't matter because you still didn't win the lottery if you've got the wrong numbers on the lottery website. Stupid.
And I got a little excited, but I didn't shout. I didn't scream. I just politely called a friend. I took a picture as he recommended. And that was it. Yeah.
Very exciting. This guy, they need to work on this. Look, if you are suing somebody for $340 million, you need to work with your client to get them to be a little bit better public speaker. There is a shtick in this too, by the way. Hang on for the shtick.
I went to sleep.
Mr. Cheeks attributes his somewhat low-key response to being deeply immersed in his work at the time.
Now, hold on. Number one, I don't buy it. He was so deeply immersed in his work. He isn't making probably even $500,000 a year. So he gets 340 million. He wins automatically, and he didn't care. Come on, man. Come on.
He's trying to create a home trust bank that would make loans to people who don't qualify for traditional mortgages.
Oh, see, he's a do-gooder that just happens to be a do-gooder with money. He's doing a home trust bank for people who can't normally get mortgages. Oh, see, he just wants the money for good. That's what the angle is that they're going with.
Crisis of the home ownership situation here in the district, Virginia and Maryland.
It just so happens that this guy, what a kind man, just so happens that he won the lottery, even though he didn't win the lottery. And he just wants that money for good. Who'd have thunk it?
Tent cities over at the State Department, tent cities at Union Station. I know it's unheard of, and I've been criticized for saying that, but the F word for foreclosure would not stand on our chart.
Again, this is shtick. I don't for 1 second believe this guy. I mean, he might be working on something that involves a bank, but I don't for 1 second believe that his life goal, while he fake won the lottery, that he's now suing to get all of the money for, was that he was going to help homeless people get homes with that money. That's the shtick. He wants you to connect the attorney. They've concocted this story. All right, and they are now they're going 1-1-1. They just want to go around. Oh, look, the camera follows me when I do that. And he's like, oh, I just happened to be working real hard on this project that was going to give homeless people homes. And I just so happened that there was an error that I won $340 million, even though I didn't win that at all. By the way, if for some reason he were to win this, or this was winnable, the company that they hire or whoever does the website would have rigged this a long time ago for one of their friends. So they would have had to pay them out. What a fucking good do-gooder. I need to not swear as much. What a do-gooder this guy is. Look at him. He was just going to win $340 million, just fortunate, and then put it towards a bank to give homeless people homes. He didn't even get excited when he quote unquote won.
Our contracts with people.
In his lawsuit, Mr. Cheeks says when he tried to redeem the ticket at a licensed retailer, the prize was denied.
Because he didn't win. The prize was denied because he didn't win the lottery. Because it was not only was it a losing ticket, don't you, if you get like a couple of numbers, you get a couple of bucks. He didn't have a single number. If it says not a winner, he didn't have nothing. You get isn't it like you get like 3 numbers, you get like $5 or something? Nothing. Because it wasn't even close to being a winner.
The D.C. Office of Lottery and Gaming Prize Center, Mr. Cheeks says he got another denial. He says he also got
because he didn't win.
A request from a claims staffer.
Hey, this ticket is no good. Just throw it in the trash can. And
it's not nefarious. The ticket is actually no good. The ticket's no good. You got a losing lottery ticket. You can just throw it away. He goes, I'm sure the guy goes, yeah, this ticket's no good. You can just throw it away. And this dude thinks, look at his face. He's like, oh no, this must be a setup. Clearly I won the lottery, even though I didn't win the lottery.
I gave him a stern look. I said, in the trash can. Oh yeah, just throw it away. You're not going to get paid.
Did he think the guy from behind the counter was going to be a moron that went and picked it out and tried to win that money that's already said not a winner?
Oh yeah, just throw it away. You're not going to get paid.
Because you're not going to get paid.
There's the trash can right there.
Mr. Cheek says he put the ticket.
I mean, I'm not even kidding you right now. Like, not a winner means you didn't have a single. Don't you get something even if you have like one number? I'm Googling this. Sorry, I use Google. What happens if you get 2 numbers on Powerball? Okay. The minimum prize for matching just the Powerball number is $4. If you get 2 numbers right on the Powerball, you will win a prize, but it'll be a relatively small one. So the dude didn't even have 2 numbers right. He didn't even have 2 numbers right. And he's trying to come in and say, oh, it said it on the website, so you owe me $340 million. Even though the woman who we've identified as Lauren Boebert, where are we at here? 4 minutes. Look at that. It's Lauren Boebert. Lauren Boebert, she called the numbers on television, and they didn't come out to his numbers. So he's going to go to the lottery office and tell them that he won because it was on their website. Do you know, like, if this was a real case, if this was serious world stuff, this would have been scammed. This scam would have been run a long time ago with the guy who's working the website, right? Especially when it was like a $500 million. You don't even have to go $500 million. You hit it at 100 million. Nobody suspects it, right? Might as well go for the billion, though. Stupid.
Contacted a lawyer. The lawsuit filed by attorney Richard Evans claims Mr. Cheeks was eventually told that a lottery contractor, DC-based Teotihuacan Enterprises, accidentally posted the wrong numbers, that it was a mistake.
It's a mistake.
They have said that one of their contractors made a mistake.
They did. They put the wrong numbers up. And when they put the wrong numbers up, that doesn't mean that it changes the results of the lottery that was drawn on national television.
I haven't seen the evidence to support that yet. Even if a mistake was made, the question becomes, what do you do about that? There is precedent for this. A similar case happened in Iowa where a mistake was admitted to by a contractor and they paid the winnings out.
News 4 has
How much was the winnings, though? $12?
contacted by email Powerball.
Also, the mistake, I guarantee the mistake was not wrong number on the website. You can't change the results of a lottery because a different number is put on the website.
The Multi-State Lottery Association, Teotihuacan Enterprises, the contractor, and various DC government entities named in the lawsuit, along with their attorneys of record. We were told there would be no comment on the...
There's no comment because the guy didn't win. I just want to go back to the part where he's like, that guy told me to throw it away. Nah, I didn't. Because you're stupid. It says not a winner. You got zero numbers. If you had 2 numbers right, or the Powerball, you would have got like $3 or $4. But you didn't even get a single number right. And it just so happens somebody made an error on the website. You don't get $340 million. You didn't win the lottery, period.
A request from a claims staffer.
Said, hey, this ticket is no good. Just throw it in the trash can.
He's absolutely lying, by the way. You can look at that face. He's like smirking.
And
this is part of their story. Not only is this a kind man who only wants to use the $340 million to start a bank to give homeless people homes, but he's claiming that this person at the lottery place told him to throw the ticket away as if it was a nefarious thing. It's a losing ticket.
I gave him a stern look. I said, in the trash can. Oh, yeah, just throw it away. You're not going to get paid.
Because you're not going to get paid. Stupid people, stupid lawsuit. And let's move on now to stupid AI. Here is the AI, if you haven't seen this story yet. When you put in an image for Founding Father, apparently Google AI has their only knowledge of history is from Hamilton, where the races are completely swapped. And so we've got history mess in here is the New York Post cover. That is the picture, not, of course, of all of the stuff, all of the words, but that picture with the American flag behind you. That's what you got when you go through Google's woke AI and you ask for a picture of the Pope. They said the Pope was a woman, Vikings were black, and then you get a founding father that looks like that. Now, this wouldn't be that big of a story, and I really didn't care that much, except there's a show that's still on that I didn't realize was still on.
Jorge is always with the ones he loves.
And then we have to get through a crappy advertisement here. It is this Hills. Is it the Hill Rising or something? I don't even know. I thought the show was done a long time ago. But the hosts on The Rising are hilarious because obviously it's like a liberal, cucky dude and then an angry black woman who's also a liberal. And they want to talk about this story. And he wants to talk about how they race swapped founding fathers, but he doesn't want to say it. He doesn't want to say they made the founding fathers and Vikings black. All right. Because he's afraid that this woman's going to beat him up. And so drama Drama continues here. Again, this is them trying to cover it. It's ridiculous. They say Google apologizes for a reverse racist AI. And of course, they make it about conservatism. I don't care. But this is probably one of the funniest interactions I've seen in a while, because this dude can't say that they turned founding fathers black, and he's trying to find other things to say. Meanwhile, he just gets beat up by an angry black leftist woman.
AI has officially joined HAL 9000, Skynet, and that evil wheel from Wall-E in the pantheon of artificial intelligence run amok. Conservative commentators, but not just conservative commentators, were blasting Google over what they described as intentional anti-white bias in its new AI.
I mean, it's intentional anti-white bias. If they're making founding fathers black, they weren't. They just weren't. That's just a fact.
Generative engine Gemini, several images of users asking the engine to create images of people from traditionally white nationalities and backgrounds, such as French or Swedish or English, would produce images of black, brown, Asian, etc. people.
No, it would just produce black people. But he's trying to not get beat up. You'll see where the commentary comes in here.
Instead, but the reverse was not true. On the other hand, asking for images from minority cultures did not cause the AI to diversify those by adding in white people.
So that's the story. Okay. So if you asked for something that was definitely white people, it came out black. If you asked for something of diverse, any kind of other ethnic group, it came out that ethnic group. Okay. That's the story. They are muddying the waters here to try to not offend people, especially the woman next to him.
Additionally, requests for images of specifically white people would be met with a warning from the AI not to push, quote, divisive rhetoric, while no such warning appeared again in the other direction. Now, Google appears to have agreed that this was a problem, issuing a statement to Fox Digital and some other places saying they were aware of these concerns and working to fix it. Gemini Experience's Senior Director of Product Management, Jack Krajik, addressed the responses from the AI that had led to these social media users expressing concern. He said, "We are working to improve these kinds of depictions immediately." Gemini's.
Okay, so they apologized. Okay. I just want to get to the part where he starts the commentary on this, because he's scared to death and he won't push back and he's afraid of this woman. Watch.
Their input. The AI would then use the modified prompt to create the images. As of now, Google has said.
Who watches this, by the way? The only reason I tuned into this today, before we get to this, the reaction from them, who watches that? It is so freaking boring. Like this show, I don't know you have news on your television. You want to watch news, you can watch it on your television. You can go to X, you can go to Rumble, you can go anywhere. But I don't know who tunes into this. It's so draggy and slow. I'm skipping around to try to make it faster for you. I know what happens in this clip. I'm excited for what happens in this clip. And I'm bored by what I'm watching.
It's pausing use of the Gemini AI engine as it retools the program.
Here we go.
So I don't know if you checked Twitter X yesterday, but it was filled with these examples of people generating pictures. I played around with a little bit. And I think, the issue for me is not that it creates implausible or historically not, when you said,
she's already angry. Look at her face. Like this is supposed to be a serious, this is supposed to be a serious person.
Make
on historically inaccurate leprechauns.
But when you
okay, so she literally takes this. We're talking about founding fathers. We're talking about other things, Vikings. We're talking about the Pope. And she brings up leprechauns, historically inaccurate leprechauns. Why? Because that's not a historical thing. That is a fable. Leprechauns aren't real. Unless you were in that town in Alabama that time. We can play that after this because maybe she believes that. So she thinks she's really owned this guy. And she does, because he is the epitome of cucky leftist liberal. He probably calls himself a feminist. This guy is not fighting back. Not fighting back at all. So she starts with this stupid comment and he doesn't push back.
Historically, not when you said, make
on historically inaccurate leprechauns.
Idiot.
But when you asked for French king, it gave you female portrayals and portrayals of people from all over the world.
Say black. But you're afraid. Say black. Say black. Say black. Because they made them black. They made white people black. They made white people black.
whatever. But then when you did it on like in the other direction, when you asked it for like Egyptian pharaoh or Arab sultan or something, it showed you entirely accurate and did not diversify it any further.
What's the entirely accurate race of an Egyptian pharaoh?
Jesus. Middle Eastern. All right, we know what a pharaoh looked like. Okay. And this woman, she can't accept that this AI made white people, historically white people, black. Made white people black. She can't accept that. And now she's going to argue we know what historically the founding fathers or French kings look like, as were his examples. But we know what ancient pharaohs look like as well. But she's now just going to go out of left field. And this guy's not going to push back because he probably describes himself as a feminist with pronouns in his profile.
African.
Seems like there were a lot of different races in ancient Egypt is kind of the point.
But there weren't in Europe is kind of the point. And there weren't in America. And he's not going to push back.
It showed you historically representative.
So a diverse array of people, as it did in any context. I'm confused as to what the qualm.
What is confusing?
All of it, to be honest. I'm
It's not confusing. I'm going to let's see if I can just share another screen here. It's not confusing at all because share screen. That is not what a founding father looked like. They were not black. Sorry. I regret to inform you, even if you've seen the Hamilton musical. Hamilton wasn't a rapping Puerto Rican. So she's arguing, well, I don't know what the issue is here. I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure. Why am I sharing I'm sharing my Rumble. I'm not sure what the issue is here. What's the problem?
I'm trying to find the root of the concern. It seems like they're making a new technology. They've defaulted to every result being diverse.
No, they have not defaulted to every result being diverse. They've been diversifying white people, but not diverse cultures.
So that there's
No, they didn't. They did not default to every result being diverse. They defaulted to results that would be predominantly, by and large,
well, that's
white
why I'm
identities.
asking about the Egyptian example, because
She blows over the facts of this. She's stupid. She's either knowingly diverting this conversation, or she's completely stupid. And this guy's too afraid to be like, no, they made white people black, but no other races did they change.
ancient Egypt, situated geographically where it was, had rulers of.
Again, just rambling words. This is a person on television. Well, not on television, sorry. On a show that people used to watch on the Hill.
All different complexions.
Okay, what about Arab Sultan or?
Well, I don't know. You're the one that played with it. You brought up the ancient.
Well, I don't know. I don't know this topic. I'm just gonna say things and not listen to anything you said. And then when you challenge what I say, that's totally wrong. I'm gonna say I don't know. This is your thing, not mine. So his response should be, then shut up. If you don't know, then what are you weighing in on?
Egypt example.
But this guy, it's his fault for not saying they make white people black and no other race changes.
Aztec emperor or all of those.
Well, what about
things.
them? Tell me what happens.
What you got is a stereotypical image of that.
I can't take it anymore. I just want to show you again. This is how stupid modern media is, by the way, that these two are going to go back and forth because he can't just say that they made white people black in the AI, but all the other races that were diverse, they didn't make white. They never added white people to it. Can't say that. Here's the image, and there's a bunch more of them that Google's AI played around with, and that's what they're saying as a founding father. But if you looked up, like, Africans in Nigeria or something, it would come up black people, no white people. But if you look up traditionally, when he said like French king, when you look up Vikings, they made Pope a woman, the Pope a woman again. But that is your modern day feminist dude there who can't figure out what to say in this instance. He can't figure out how to push back against that. Makes literally no sense. Makes no sense. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. I'm Tim Young. Let me get to the banners here. Let's do this. Look at that. I'm Tim Young. You can follow me at Tim Runs His Mouth. You're watching the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast. And go check out our friends at cigarsdirect.com, cigarsdirect.com again, to get all of your favorite cigars, your pretty rare stuff. They've got their 25th anniversary cigars right now going on. They also, I think, are going to expand pretty soon and maybe get into the whiskey business. It's pretty exciting stuff over at cigarsdirect.com. Make sure you go there, hang out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. This is the Tim Runs His Mouth podcast. I'll see you next time.